Have you ever stopped to think about the fans behind a band? What is it about the music that keeps fans coming back for more? Or is there more? My name is Renae Lipsmeyer, and I am the host of this podcast, The Space Between Podcast, the podcast where we talk about the fans of the Dave Matthews Band. Each week, a fellow DMB fan joins the show to discuss their journey with the band. Welcome to the Space Between Podcast. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Space Between Podcast, the podcast where we talk about the fans of Dave Matthews Band. If you've never heard of Dave Matthews Band, they're quite the story. They have been around for over 30 years. Next year, which is 2026, hard to even say that. They're going to be celebrating. I'm going to be celebrating. My guest is going to be celebrating third of this band. And that sounds crazy. There's not a lot of bands that have the privilege of saying that we've been doing what we love for 35 years. And along the way, making people so happy, letting people get through some shit. Because let us not forget that music is such a tool when it comes to our mental health. It is such a tool. And people don't think about that often enough. And so I have been recording stories of fans of Dave Matthews Band. Each episode is a different fan coming on to talk about their journey, why they like this music. Have they been listening to them since the 90s, the 2000s, 2010s? Did they just find them? There are fans across the globe that are still finding this band and are chasing them just as fast as they can. We are kind of in a lull season right now. We're just waiting with anticipation like it's Christmas Day. We always just wait around and go, okay, where are we going to travel to this year? I always joke that Dave Matthews Band is my travel agent, and they tell me where I'm going to go. And they've never steered me wrong, ever. I mean, take me out into a cornfield in Indiana. I'm happy. And so while we have this time to just reflect on what we've just gotten to do in 2025 and maybe what's ahead in 2026, let's fill this time and let's listen to these fans and what they're saying as we wait for the next tour dates to be revealed. So every episode I have a fan on. Today, of course, I have another fan on. She is going to tell us who she is, where she lives, and just tell us something about you.
Hi, thank you so much. My name is Jaime Fadule. I live in South Jersey. My home venue is Camden.
Hell
I
yeah.
never miss. I never miss night one or night two in Camden. Never night two.
Yes.
And I've been a fan since 1998.
Oh, yay. This is going to be so fun. This means you have a lot to share. I want to say that when you say 98, that's such a comforting time to me, but it was my first year in college, or it was my second year in college. That was just such a good time. And the 90s were very transformable years for Dave Matthews Band going into the 2000s and all the fun that we have to talk about here. So tell us a little bit about home life. What do you like to do for fun? Do you have any pets? All those kinds of things.
So I'm married. My husband actually proposed to me at the Home Bell show
What?
in 2013, and he is not a fan. He's not a fan, so big points for him.
Yes.
We have an 8-year-old daughter, and we
Awesome.
are looking forward to getting another Boston Terrier in the spring.
Yay.
And I'm
They're
a
so cute.
hairdresser. I'm a hairdresser,
Yes.
and I'm sure today while we're talking, a few of my clients will come up in the stories that I'm going to tell.
We'll give them a shout out, right? So when they listen to it, it'll be
Yeah,
like,
of
what?
course.
Shout out. So tell everyone that's listening to this, do you remember the moment that you heard of Dave Matthews Band? Like, how did you hear about them?
So I was a senior in high school. I want to say it was maybe like 1995. I want to say Crash is the song that I first heard that I was like, okay, like, this is good, but I listened to like Biggie Smalls. So, you
Hell
know,
yeah. Yes.
Dave was so not
So far
like
away.
my side of the spectrum. So yeah, it wasn't until 98, 2 years later, in the summer, the band would come to Camden every like June, and it was around my birthday. And a group of friends I worked with were huge fans before me. And they were like, "Hey, you want to come with us?" And I was like, "Yeah, why not?" And it
Why
like
not?
from that show, I was absolutely hooked.
Okay, so let's
And that
stop
was
because I have to digest this first show because it's a pivotal moment in any fan's life. I really believe this because you had heard of them, you heard their music. Now, in this time, they didn't have quite the catalog they do now, but they did have some good ones, some really core songs that are still core songs. What going into the concert, did you know anything about the way that they do business live versus albums?
nothing. And I think people, that aren't fans still that go, like, I was just hoping to hear Crash or, hoping to hear, like, and I just kinda went into it not thinking anything of it. It was
Yeah,
just
right.
a summer night out with friends,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it turned into what it is now all these years later.
Why
I
was
think I
that?
was
Like,
I was 20, so it was 27 years ago.
what was it about that show that made you go back out and look for
Oh god.
more? Or, like, how did that catapult into what is now? But, like, tell us more about the beginnings. Like, do you remember and I know that that's so long ago. If you were to ask me, like, what I was thinking in '98, I swear to you, I don't know. And I'm sure that's a lot of the way you feel too. '98 was a long time
Yeah.
ago, but, like, what was it about that show that made you wanna go and listen to more?
I think it was for sure the music. I never was into that vibe of music. And I still, now, the music I listen to, I think is more like Dave. So
Yeah.
I think that was like my gateway to like more chill vibes and just the people and hanging out and tailgating. And then at that time, so many of my friends were into Dave. So it was like,
Yeah.
are you going? I'm going. Let's meet up. And it was for years. So like a large group of friends would go and you would all go together. And throughout the years, that group has dwindled down. Then, you find new day friends and then
Yes.
it's like it comes and goes. But that, and at that time, because it was so popular, I think that's what really got me into it.
Sure. No,
It was just
totally
there was
understandable. It
always
was
someone
it was
there.
just right in front of you. I mean, at that
Yeah.
time, they were everywhere in '98,
Everywhere.
'99, 2000. I mean, they were this just their peak after coming out of starting. Rightly so. They were just murdering it all the time. They don't know how to stop being so good, and I hope that they just don't know how to
Yeah.
stop, and I don't want them to. But so leading into that, do you remember and because I know that there had to have been a show number 2. What ho lead us up to that.
So then,
Well, so
oh,
you
okay, so
probably went so taking it back, so you went to many at Camden. So show number 2 was
yeah.
at Camden. So you did many shows at Camden. When was the first time that you decided to go outside of Camden to see them?
So it was maybe 99 or 2000 when they would play it 3 nights in Philly at the Veterans Stadium, which is not there anymore, but we would go every 3 nights. I remember just, like, looking around and thinking, "Oh my god, I've never seen a place that crowded for 3 nights in a row."
Yeah.
And we would I think then, like, we would wait at the lottery in, like, the Boscov's line to get our tickets, and we would go down, like, to the floor and just slip the security person, like, 20 bucks, and then they would just let us down onto the floor,
Hell
and
yeah.
it was just, like, thinking of those nights now, we I would do anything for one of those nights now, but
Yeah.
we were just getting into it then, so it was like we had no idea how what we were experiencing. I don't know if it's because we're older now, but you'll talk to the people next to you. And
Yeah.
if you notice a license plate from out of state, you'll talk to them. When you're younger, it's kind of like you're just hanging out with your friends and you're in your little group. But
Right.
now it's like you wanna talk to people and you wanna know, like, "Hey, where are you from? Like, where are you staying? What show is" that's always the big one, like, "What song are you chasing? What number is this for you?"
Do you remember when you started making friends from Dave Matthews Band concerts? Like, and that sounds like such a strange thing to people outside of the community, but it is. You've already mentioned it's a thing that happens. You start talking to people, and then you're like, hey, are you going to go to the show? And then maybe you go together or whatever. But you have picked up people along the way.
Yeah, so I think one of my favorite stories, and it's just how the band brings people together. So I'd mentioned I'm a hairdresser, and I had this
Yes.
client for quite a few years, and, like and even when she tells the story, like, she's a bit older than me, so she'll say, like, I would just come in and we would make small talk and, "How are you doing? Blah, blah, blah." So I said to her, and this was probably 12 years ago, she came in and I said, "Oh, how's your summer going?" And she's like, "Oh, I started following the Dave Matthews Band this summer." And I, like, sat down. I was like, "Wait a minute, back up." And from that moment, like, her and I, like, she came to my wedding. We travel together. We go to shows together. She was one of the first ones to come over after I had my daughter. Like, it brought our relationship from work to, like, we both love the same exact thing. And
Yes.
it's
I love that.
and it's just in conversation, like, how it came up, and I was like, "Oh my god, we're friends now."
Wow. I would have loved to see your face right after
Oh
she
my
said
god,
Dave
I
Matthews
I
Band.
remember I, like, sat down, I was like, "Wait a minute."
And hold on just a second. My world has just gotten a lot better.
And I think we've gone to pretty much every Camden show together. We've gone to Florida, New Hampshire, New York, Virginia, like, we travel now together.
What is her name? Let's give her a
Chris
shout out.
Christy.
Christy. What's up, Christy? Hey, you need to be on the show so that we can hear the other side of this story,
Yep.
like the beginning before you
Yeah.
walk into her shop and say, I'm following this band. We want to know all the before and all the after. So, hey, call me.
Yeah.
Call me.
We have a lot of great moments we need to talk about.
Yes. Yes. So, and for me, that's been some. Actually, I won't say some. I'm gonna give it a lot more credit. The people, the friends, the relationships, just the one-time meeting of people, always so pleasant. It is, if you have to say the number 1 and number 2 reasons why you go to Dave shows, those are pretty tight for me. Obviously, we're going because we all love the same band, but I'm also going because I get to see some of my best friends that I only get to see at Dave shows, friends that I know are on board to talk to me about the length of Seek Up. Like whatever weird scenario I can bring up, like they got my back and they're excited to talk about that. So it's so cool to meet people at venues. And I find that it's kind of easy, right? Like maybe obviously I could talk to a wall, but like
Right.
I feel like it's pretty easy to meet people, don't you? Just in general?
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Because we've all got that one thing in common. No matter what, if you're at a show, you know that that person, unless they've been drugged there, which, that
Right?
does happen. I understand that. Like when I first started dating my husband, like I won't say drag it, but like he came because I wanted to go, right? It wasn't because he wanted to go. And it sounds like maybe you kind of have that same experience too. So tell us about your family and tell us how this is all kind of, because Dave came first, right?
Yeah.
Dave
Yep.
was before husband and baby.
He
So, like,
was
how does
before
that
my husband and
integrate
baby.
into all of that?
Yeah. So, yeah. So my husband, wasn't a Dave fan. And, in the car, I would always try to play it because, you're like, oh, maybe they'll hear one song that'll do it for him.
Yes.
So he really liked Crush. And I was like, okay, that'll be our song. So
Right.
I'd play it in the car. And this was when we were dating. We were only dating about, I think, 10 months. We went to the show in Holmdel, New Jersey, and they played Crush and he proposed, and I was shocked beyond belief. And I said to him in the car, because he doesn't know, they could have not played Crush and he didn't know that.
Right. Right.
And I said, "Well," I said, "Babe, what if they didn't play Crush?" And he's like, like, he had no idea that was even possible.
On the table, like, they're gonna play it at every show like every other
Right.
band does, right.
And, I mean, thank God
It
they
was meant to
did.
be. It was meant to be! It was that
Right.
moment.
Yeah. And then, so he has since he's come to a few more shows. He likes You Might Die Trying, which I was very proud about that.
Yes.
So we're slowly getting there.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's just
That's
baby steps, sometimes you gotta crawl first and all the things, so but it does happen slowly and not for everyone because I understand. This music is not for everyone, I understand, but we like to believe that it is because we are so passionate about it. We're like, "What could you
right.
not like about it? Oh my god," like, name any song and I will debate you on why it's a good song, you know, like, it's what it is, but everyone has their passions, and I tell people it's no different for me to do this or for all of us to be doing this versus following, any NFL team and going from game to game to watch your favorite
Right.
team and wear
That's what
that
I
merch
said.
and tailgating and talking to your friends about the game and the players and the blah, 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 blah. Hey, Dave Matthews Band is my
Yeah,
team, and I am
that's
cheering them
right.
on as often as I can, telling them to everybody, even if they don't wanna hear it, like, because there's always those people that are like, "Go Cowboys." Nobody wants to hear that, but they tell
Right.
us anyways, right? Sorry for those people that are Cowboys fan, but we're up in the Kansas City land, so
It's
we're
like,
we I mean
I'm an Eagles fan over here.
we all have our different teams, just like we all have our different tastes in music. But in the music world, like this is my team, and I don't, I often call them my team. And I'm just rooting them on, and we're like
Yeah.
their little cheerleaders, and I think that they appreciate that. And I can feel, and I know a lot of people of other people have said that they feel that that reciprocal gratefulness, like, when you're at a show and the band gives out so much energy for us, right? It's not for them, like, it's for us, but in turn, I really believe that we are giving it right back
Right.
to them and that they can feel it and see it on our faces and in our, whatever we're doing at that moment. It's such a full circle event, like, you believe that, "Man, I really got something today," and I think based off of thousands of interviews and 3 decades of interviews, they really are digging it too. They love their fans. They love their fans,
Yep.
and we're so thankful for that for because, I see that they see that it also took us, right? Like, we had to be there
Right.
to make this all happen, and they know that and realize that and embrace that as they should, and so we're just so thankful that they are not only good at what they do, but they're also super humble about it. They're super grateful about it and thankful, and so that just makes everything so much better. Let's talk about tailgating.
Just in my area where I live, like, big groups of people just go and set up to tailgate, and everyone has plans to meet up. So it's more of people, and I think because I've been going to Camden for so long, I meet up with just people I know from home. I don't really, and I don't even know, like, I've met people from other states that, and, like, I'm like, "Where did you come from?" You know? And it's like,
Right,
I know this
everywhere,
one and that one, like, "Why are you here? You're from California."
and you know why. You know
Yeah, I
why,
know why. I know why,
because you
but
gotta chase these boys.
that's right. I'm like, "Alright, see you next year."
And everybody talks about Camden.
Yeah.
It literally is one of the places that so many people have been to because it is a
Mhm.
two-night event, and of course,
Yep.
people are gonna come in for that because it just makes more sense sometimes financially. But also with you guys being on the East Coast, there's just a lot of people on the East Coast, and since the band started on the East Coast, there's naturally more of a fan base located in that section of the country. However,
Right.
we know that they have fans everywhere because you can go anywhere to any show and find people from all over the United States and even other countries that have come all the
Right.
way to go to your venue to hear Dave
Yes.
Matthews Band. There's something magical about that. And again, I like y'all's area. It's got so much history, good, bad, indifferent, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. We're very close to Philadelphia, pretty close to New York. I've taken the train to Madison Square Garden, go to the show, take the train back.
So great.
And even another thing how Dave Matthews brings people together. Last summer in Camden, there was actually a girl I was friends with in high school. She was actually behind me at the show. And we were like, oh my God, so good to see
Yeah.
you. And then that fall, she had reached out and she was like, hey, would you want to go to Madison Square Garden? And I was like, yeah, sure, of course. And I hopped on the train and met her. And it was nice because before the show, we caught up. I hadn't seen her in probably 20 years.
Wow.
So, it's just how the band brings people
It
back
does.
together.
Yeah.
And yeah, we went to the show. And then actually, again, this summer, we went to night one together. So it's,
Wow. How is
yep.
it at MSG? I've yet to be there to see them. I mean, I've heard all the magical things, but, like, how was it for you?
It's so great. I love fall tour, even in Philadelphia when they come in the fall. I feel the set list. I mean, I say every set list is the best set list.
Me too.
Yeah, especially in the fall, I think it's really, really geared towards maybe the fans or it's deeper. It's a different vibe from summer, I
Sure.
think, for sure. And then you could always get Christmas song thrown in there somewhere, which is
That's
nice too.
right. That's right.
Yep.
Okay, so I wanna talk a little bit how Jamie even got on this show. I mean, not that it is hard. All you do is let me know, "Hey, I wanna share my DMB journey," and then we set up a time to do this. But Jamie, I heard of her because I had a guest on the show not too long ago. His name is Jack Saady. He is in Medford, New Jersey. He's doing a side project called Gray Street Stories. He's a photographer, so he asks the fans that participate in these photo sessions to bring keepsakes from their fan voyage, whether it's ticket stubs, drumsticks, t-shirts, whatever it is to help kind of tell your story visually through his photography. So Jamie was the very first person that Jack got when starting this new project. So tell us, how in the world did you and Jack even find out about each other so that this could happen?
So Jack and his family came to the salon where I worked, and I believe I started doing his wife's hair first. And of course, like I do with everybody, I probably mentioned Dave Matthews Band, where I said, oh, what are you
Sure.
doing this weekend? I'm going to the concert, whatever. And she said, oh,
Right.
my husband likes Dave Matthews. And I was like, oh, okay. And then, then Jack came into this. Your wife told me that you're a Dave fan. So then, that was,
Yeah.
our whole thing. And then, then it snowballs. Then Jack and I became Facebook friends. And then we both became, members of Dave Matthews Facebook pages. And then when he was starting this project, he had reached out to me and told me about it. And he actually does, you mentioned he lived in Medford. I live in Medford also. So, he had mentioned that he wanted to start this project. And I was like, I'll love to do it. And I brought all
Yeah.
my posters, my drumstick, and my photo albums back from when we used to carry cameras around. It was just so nice. I actually stayed a while after the photo shoot just to talk
Yeah.
and connect because like you said, we can talk about this for hours.
Yeah, we've got hours worth of things to talk about, if not days. I mean, it's like, how far do you want to break it down? Like, do you want to go album by
Right.
album? Do you want to go song by song? I'm glad he's doing what he's doing. I know that it's a fun project for him. It's a way for him to use his skills to talk about something that he's passionate about as well and share his fan story. Although I'm like, who's going to take your picture, Jack? Like, you need to
Right.
be part of Gray Street Stories too. And Jack, I know you're going to listen to
That's
this.
right.
So who's going to document your story? I
Jack,
mean, I have. I
need a
have. So
selfie.
there's that. But you need some pictures. If you're listening to this on a podcast app, just know that you can watch this on YouTube. All of my episodes are up there, and you can see. I'm going to put some of Jamie's pictures that Jack took so you can kind of see what kind of work Jack Sadie is doing as far as his Gray Street Stories. So if you're on YouTube, you're going to be seeing those now. And again, if you're listening to this on podcast app, just know that you can go back later and watch it on YouTube and see this picture. There'll also be links to Jack and Jack Sadie Photography, Gray Street Stories in the show notes. So look for those after you get through listening.
I'm just so thankful to go to as many shows as I can. But I remember the first time I heard "Break Free" live, I cried. I was like, "Oh my god," like, because I would listen to that song all the time, and you go through phases with songs, and I think too it depends what's going on in your life at the moment,
Yeah.
but I remember I heard that song and I was like, "I finally heard it." I
It's crazy that we'll be celebrating 35 new years next year. Any thoughts on what you think they're gonna try to do to celebrate 35 years?
I haven't thought of that.
I know, me either. I mean, what could it be? I don't know.
I mean,
Probably Charlottesville? Probably?
yeah. I mean, they've already played an album front to back, so they're not gonna do that. So, I don't know.
Thank you so much for just being brave enough to come on and share your story with so many strange ears, but I know that they're gonna love it. It's always good to have a fan that's, I like to say, a well-seasoned fan in on the show because there's so much that you can uncover for all of us as far because we weren't all fans that early. A lot of us just weren't. A lot of us weren't born. A lot of us were 5, whatever the case may be. We just didn't have that experience, and so everyone's take on their journey and how they've done it and when they started and how it all happened, it's all very different, and so that's what I've found so unique amongst the fan stories, and yours is really important to capture too because, again, it takes the fans to make the band.
Good.
Awesome. Well, guys, again, if you are just listening to this on a podcast app, know that you can just go to YouTube and type in the space between podcasts, and you will find almost every episode except for maybe like most of season 1 that was season 1 and season 2, I love because I had so many great people, but I laugh because I didn't know what I was doing. I still don't, but they're out there on YouTube, and so you can watch the show grow and progress as we moved forward. We're about to celebrate 3 years here at the Space Between podcast, and I'm just so thankful for each of you that continue to listen, each of you that reach out and wanna document their story and understand that that's what I'm doing is documenting the fan side of the story before it's all over, guys, because we're not promised tomorrow. We're celebrating 35 years, and we're gonna document it until the wheels fall off. So, guys, be sure to stay tuned. You never know who's going to be next, so stay tuned. Make sure to follow on YouTube, follow on your podcast app so that it tells you, "Hey, a new episode just came out." You gotta do that. But guys, in the meantime, peace, love, and Dave Matthews Band.